What up? This is Matt and welcome to Gear Zombie.
Gear Zombie.
Oh gosh, it's been so long since I've done one of these. I don't even know where to start. Last YouTube video I posted was May 14th, 2021. I did a review on a glary guitar. I'm so out of sorts. Stick with me through this because it's been a long time and there are reasons, and I'm going to discuss these reasons and what has led us to this giant pile of stuff that we're gonna open up all at once today. But first, I need a delicious white monster. White monster at 10:15 at night. So I was trying to figure out what to title this video and I'm still not certain what I'm going to title it. There's a few reasons that I haven't posted. Let's back up over the last couple years. If you don't want to hear this story, I'm gonna put a timestamp down here and you just jump to where we start opening stuff. But I want to tell this. COVID 2020 was nasty to everybody. And for me, full disclosure, when they started locking everything down, I was kind of living my best life. I was sort of purpose built for that. Now, I was very fortunate because my job allowed me to work from home. I work in technology. Doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm remoted into things 95% of the time. I can do my job anywhere in the world. My better half also worked from home. My kids, they came back home from school. Everybody was home. There was a lot of people that I knew that were, biting their nails. They needed to get out. I was not one of those, and neither was my family. I mean, we can just hang here and we don't have to deal with, all the nasty parts of running around. People have become so nasty in the last few years. We got each other, man. We can all hang out. We can do whatever we want. That was pretty good for a while. I did a few uploads after the pandemic started. Where did things get ugly? The EVH 5153 50 watt stealth video. In 2020, we decided that we were going to take a trip. Packed up the whole family and we drove from here in the Midwest. We're in Iowa. We drove all the way out through Yellowstone, through Portland. We stayed at an Airbnb on a beach. Goonies rocks. For a few days. It was fantastic. This was like late September 2020. And things were still a little iffy. Everyone was still wearing masks and largely in a lot of places. I remember at the time going through South Dakota and everything was just normal there. And it felt so weird. But we get through, swung down to San Francisco, went through Alcatraz. It wasn't completely opened up, but we got to walk around Alcatraz. On the way home, get a phone call. My dad's in the hospital. Probably not gonna make it. I'm just outside of somewhere in Nevada, and we're trying to figure out, is there any way for me to get home? Is there anything I can do? Nothing. Before we got home, we still had about 2 days worth of driving to get back, and my dad didn't make it through the night. At that time, I had a bunch of stuff I was filming. My intention was to start migrating this channel from not just music gear, but I bought a really sexy GoPro 9 Black. I got it the day it dropped, and I was going to do a video on this.
But now, you need a wider lens, and then you have the front display?
Got the front display. They're gonna have interchangeable lenses. So this twists off and I guess they're gonna have different focal range lenses.
Hey, I got the content!
Oh, they're like, no, it's a car.
Yeah, they don't like us.
Look, that one's really fat.
Yeah, he's a big one.
I've got a pet one.
What a giant black SUV. They just think we're one of them. I'm sure they have several.
They won't be dry in time.
Use that leg strength.
My dad passes away, I believe it was October 1st, 2020. October 5th, the entire reason I started playing guitar, Mr. Eddie Van Halen, he passed away. The friends that I have that were really close to me, they'd all reached out when my dad died. You're having a time. Is everything okay? yeah, what do you do? It's life. That's what it is. My dad hadn't even sank in really yet. And then from there, things just kind of started to snowball. YouTube went through a couple of algorithm changes, and you could see when you looked at my stats on the graph, very distinct, you know, things are holding out, even kind of trending upward, and then a very steep just drop and flat. Like all of a sudden, now my content's not being viewed. I've been through a few of these. Like any chance that YouTube has had, like I always just fit in that, like not me directly, but I always fit in the shit end of the stick of their algorithm change. I started posting and I started playing with different things. I kind of wanted to do something different. Like I like doing the gear reviews, and I was at a point where I was starting to get manufacturers sending me things, and I was enjoying that. As I was fighting the algorithm changes, I actually started to advertise through AdSense. I went through and I followed the directions to a T on posting things on Google AdSense. And within a week or two, they banned my AdSense account for posting something that was against their rules. It was this glary guitar video was what I had posted just to see if I could drive some traffic to it. No rhyme or reason as to why it was bad. Google, you're never going to talk to a human. There's an appeal process. It doesn't go to a human. If it does go to a human, the human just says, well, the algorithm, you know, it says it's bad, so it's bad. They won't tell you why it's bad. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't advertise. I'm not getting views. The vast majority of people that do this don't do it for the money. But the money was nice to pad, you know, things like this. So I had other plans. You know, I was going to, well, continue to do gear reviews. I was going to move into cameras and electronics and all that stuff, which is a huge interest of mine. You know, I started buying things. I bought myself a new 16-inch MacBook Pro, completely loaded. I wanted to move everything away from Windows, and honestly, that's been a great decision. It's been a tough decision because I'm old, and trying to learn new things is hard when you're old. I changed out my cameras. I had been shooting on a Sony a7 III. I sold my a7 III. I bought an a7C, very similar to an a7 III, better autofocus, better all kinds of things. That is what I was going to use for my B-roll cam, and then I wanted a sexy bigger cam. Sony had introduced a newer camera to their cinema line, the FX3, which is this camera. I got that right before my son and I had decided we were going to take a trip together to Denver while I'm piling things on. So a really close friend of mine in Denver passed away, and I was not able to get out there for his funeral. Because of COVID, it was limited, and we debated on whether or not to go out and try to make it. He was a local musician out there, had a lot of friends. Man, we were really tight for a long time. So he passed. A few weeks later, my son and I hop in the car, which this is part 2 of retail therapy. I traded off my 2001 Z28 convertible. My son and I decided we were going to take that new car, we were going to drive it out to Colorado, and we packed up the A7C and FX3. I think we brought them both, and the GoPro, and we didn't really shoot a whole lot. We went out there, we ran around, we did our stuff. You know, this was about this time last year. So yeah, August, it was mid-August, we drove out there. That was the last time these cameras got turned on. Like for reals, like nothing. They haven't been touched. You would have thought at that point I would have stopped there, but I didn't. I also do a podcast. I started a new podcast with a friend of mine called Movie Mosh Pit. We started talking about movies. Podcasting has been a thing that I love to do. I've posted some stuff here on the channel about it. I was buying new mics. I was buying other things. I was buying a lot of other things. I picked up a Mesa Boogie Stereo 250 power amp, an ADA MP1, which actually needs work. It's kind of noisy. I just kept ordering things. Let's get into some of those things. I didn't put my hat on. You know, I had a hat similar to this that I wore in another video, and people got mad. And this one, there we go. I did make a shirt. A friend of mine was laughing about how all the chicks he dates are on welfare. And so he said, you know what? All my exes live on taxes. So I've made a shirt. I'll put a link in the description if you want a shirt. I've never sold one, so it would be fun. I'd like to start doing that. I started buying things that I wanted. Some things I thought I would do reviews on. Some things I just wanted. It started with this guy right here. This I wanted a 4-string. I've got a 5-string BTB, and I wanted a 4-string with actives, some nice Bartolini's in it. I don't know if you can see. I took this out of the box. I don't know if you can see, but you can drive a truck under there. I ordered this. I just pulled it up. I ordered this May 27th, 2021. A friend of mine was at my house 2 weeks ago, and I opened it. And I love the finish. That green sort of, what do they call it? Does it have a name? Green Arctic. But I want to sell my BTB because I want to get something that has a 37-inch scale on the low side. Because I do still do some stuff that's tuned really low. Well, let's be honest, I haven't done anything in a long time, but I still don't have the old calluses where they need to be. Still got enough finger strength though that I can tap these between the levels of the parking garage. But my buddy gave me a pretty hard time for not getting the stuff out of the box. I'd never ever owned a Les Paul, ever. This is a Les Paul classic. The smart Les Paul people would know more about it than I do. It's horribly out of tune. September 28th, 2021. That's when I ordered this on eBay. Fellows in Canada. I was eyeballing it for a while. It was on Reverb. Then he had it a little cheaper on eBay, which seems to be the thing. It's got the pickup that's in it. I need to do my homework on this. The pickup that's in it has a boost. I don't remember how much it boosts it, but it gives a good little kick in the pants if you want to play a lead live. Hit the boost and away you go. Also, it'll split. You can coil split. Oh, this is really sexy. I really love this thing. The color is gorgeous. I love this color. It's a 120th anniversary. Let's see right there. 120th anniversary. I haven't changed the strings on it. I posted on Facebook and I talked about depression. Depression's a funny thing. Like, I've dealt with anxiety for the majority of my life. Anxiety's been a huge thing. I've been on and off of meds for anxiety. I generally don't like being on meds. I just kept buying things. I don't have depression like, a lot of people get depression and they're suicidal. They're in really bad shape. I just want to function. I just want to sit in the dark, hang out in the basement, play some video games. I mean, I want to hang with my kids and my family, but man, I don't want to do nothing. But I kept buying things like I was going to do things. I didn't do things. So Les Paul, super sick. Don't want to sell this one. Paul Reed Smith. This is, I believe it's a CE24. Similar color to the Les Paul. Only thing I did with this, this also splits. I did not like the Paul Reed Smith pickups. All the forums I looked at, everybody loves the Paul Reed Smith pickups. I did not. I threw in the Revere bare knuckle silos. Now I love the Paul Reed pickups. Paul Reed kind of prides themselves on the guitars being like fantastic right out of the box. The action on this was not good out of the box. And in trying to dial it in, I started to have like all kinds of problems with weird weird stuff, weird overtones. And I ended up taking it to a luthier that I take all my stuff to. Like when it gets too crazy, like I can fret level and crown and stuff like that when I need to. There was something that was going on here that I couldn't figure out, and it ended up being the nut. He ended up, I would play certain notes. There would be overtones like if, your springs were resonating or whatnot. And one of the first things I normally do, you can't see it here, because I've got the back plates on. I always tape all that stuff up, and this was gnarly. So it ended up, he had to reslot and build back up the nut in a couple of spots to make that go away. And everything is fine and dandy. The action on this rips. It's a fun guitar to play, and I don't play it. This here is a Legator N7 FOD. This is my first multi-scale. I've heard a lot of people talk about, it's out of tune bad, talk about how hit or miss these guitars are. This is a hit. As far as I'm concerned, unlike the Paul Reed, was very, very playable out of the box. This has the Fishman Fluence pickups. I believe they're Fishman Fluence Moderns with push-pull selector. I know the Fishman Fluence are all the rage. I don't like them. I've futzed around in a few different configurations between modelers and amps and cabs. I don't hate them. I'd rather there just be a good pair of bare knuckles in here. This is cool. It's multi-scale, so it's 25.5 here. And it goes down to 27. This I just got in like March. This was a blem. It was a blem because there's a little discoloration right there. One piece roasted maple neck. This is my jam. I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as my Universe, but I do like it. What else did I pick up? I picked up a Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier. I just picked up this PV Triple X head and cabinet. This is something that I always wanted. I always liked the Triple X. And I'm gonna do a full video on this, but there's a sweet story behind this, so I'm looking forward to doing that one. But PV Triple X, and that I just picked up. Master Chief, Disney released a movie in like 1979. There was a movie called The Black Hole. Super cool movie. There were some of these figurines from The Black Hole. Maximilian scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. If you've never seen this movie, give it a chance. You'll be surprised that it's a Disney movie. Like, so much so that on its initial release, Disney wouldn't put their name on it. Super dark. I've got a hat, another video that said Made You Look, and I wore that hat out one day and a lady at a gas station got super pissed at me and told me that my hat was disgusting. What's disgusting about it? And she looks at my hat and she's like, oh, I thought that was a Make America Great Again hat. That's disgusting. You know, the way you're coming to me is pretty disgusting. You ass. So it's a hat. How does Fred Durst get around nowadays? So I've got the Donner Mini Pedal, the Yellow Fall. What is this? It kind of feels like a boost. Oh, Echo, an F back time. So it's a delay. It's a delay pedal. It's a Donner Mini Pedal. I've got a Keeley Compressor Plus. Another really good friend of mine died just maybe 6 months or so ago, and he'd gotten rid of the majority of his gear prior to passing away. And so there was an auction after he passed. There was a lot of knives. If you hadn't noticed from my other videos, I'm a bit of a knife guy. I love knives. But he had a whole bunch of handmade Damascus knives. I was bidding on, like at one point, probably bidding on 10 or 12 knives, and they just got crazy. But this one I got, which I love, because it was a unique looking knife. Sharp as the Dickens, as my dad used to say. I don't know what or who the Dickens were, but the Dickens ended up being a comparison for a lot of things in my childhood. He had a Keeley Compressor Plus. Rest in peace, Matt. You are my brother. I will take care of your compressor pedal and your Damascus knife. This is, I don't know what the hell this one is either. This is a Jorio Aquarius. Probably knew what this was when I ordered it. I mean, I'm sure I had an idea. I was like, yeah, I'll do a video on that. This has a looper, and it looks like we've got Galaxy, reverse, tube echo, triple echo, analog, digital, looper. This looks like there's some cool stuff going on here. This is a Maris. I really wanted this pedal. The next one I'm gonna show I really wanted to. This is a Maris Polymoon. Thank you. Some of this stuff, full disclosure, I don't know what's in some of these boxes. I have an idea in a lot of the boxes. Now here's a Wampler Terraform. Oh, that's a sweet looking pedal. The Wampler Terraform. That is really sweet. I bet you if I turned that on, it would sound cool. I know there's gonna be comments. There's gonna be unfavorable comments. I get it. A very close friend of mine, his gear addiction is phenomenal. Nothing compared to my gear addiction. He has like high-end boutique vintage stuff just showing up all the time. And then he just puts it in his house. And I mean all the time. This I just got recently, because I always wanted one. Talk box. Old school talk box, the MXR talk box. I've always wanted a talk box. There it is. I have no idea how to use the talk box, which is interesting because, you know what? There's no instructions in there. There's no documentation there at all, just a tube. I've never opened this box like ever. I think I know what this one is. Back there, I have a crate Blue Voodoo. Every time I get rid of a Blue Voodoo, something comes with a Blue Voodoo. In this particular case, I'd sold a Blue Voodoo, a head and cab a while back, matching head and cab. I'd never had one, and they're not bad amps. They're decent sounding lamps. Oh, they're not little. They're big as hell. I've got a 5153, a white 5153 412 cab, and he was selling that with Blue Voodoo, and he wouldn't break it up. So I ended up with another Blue Voodoo. But the Blue Voodoo, the Tolex on this is nasty. So I always wanted to try to just flip this open from this point. There we go. So see, it's a gun, but it's a knife. It's a gun. It's a gun. I got a holster. It's a gun. I don't need a permit for this gun. Wham. Oh, stabby stab. I bought new Tolex. I've never re-Tolexed anything. And I was like, this sounds like something I want to try to do. Blue snakeskin. Oh, it's gonna look so 80s and gnarly. I'm gonna love it. I'm not gonna wanna get rid of it. If that comes out looking the way I hope it's gonna look, I'm gonna wanna re-Tolex everything. But yeah, it's got a scuff. Let's snakeskin that bitch. Here's an Elgato key light. You can dial this in with an app. And you see this fella, he's doing all kinds of stuff. What is in this box? Oh shit. So this, got some strings. I was going to try one of these MV7X podcast microphones that are supposed to be very similar to the SM7B. It's like Christmas. I ordered this. No recollection of ordering it, really. And then I saw it and I was like, oh shit, I guess I wonder my girlfriend hates me. When we started seeing each other, she was, attracted to a 175-pound, semi-attractive human being in a metal band. And then I turned into a morbidly obese dude with a gear habit. At least it's a gear habit. I don't hit nobody. I don't do no drugs. I don't even drink. I mean, I will drink. Store manager, Guitar Center. What the hell would I have ordered from Guitar Center? Does that say 10 of 2020? Every once in a while, I'll be at a show or something and I'll see Switchblades. And I always kind of wanted one. This one sucks though. This one, look, like, and you know what would really suck? Imagine you were like trying to be all badass, right? And doing some like West Side Story shit and you're gonna fucking, and then look. Everything in my life needs a blue pill. It'll probably work itself in. All I need is a couple of back alley, finger snapping songs where we're being badasses and our fucking wife beaters, and I don't have any idea what this is. A tuner. It's a rack mount tuner. I've got a workbench out there that I work on stuff, and I wanted to have just a rack mount tuner there for when I'm doing things. I think I know maybe what this is. I podcast, or I did podcast until my podcast buddy just decided we weren't going to podcast anymore. He just disappears. I use the Rodecaster Pro for our podcast. Why would I use a Rodecaster Pro, you would say, when I have like all the audio gear in the world? It's because these are the shit. The Rodecaster makes podcasting super, super simple. The Rodecaster Pro 2 takes everything that I didn't like about the Rodecaster. They fixed it. I'm gonna do a full review on this, and I'm gonna sell my Rodecaster because I don't need two of them. Pod mic. This, I have the Procaster. Got the boxes over there. Adorama. So this might get loaded. This is gonna make me sad if it's what I think it is. It's close. Okay, so this is a Ronin quick release plate. And where we're going with this. Small rig. This is part of a cage. When I ordered this, December 2021. Oh, I bet you some of the stuff is way older because I remember there were pieces of this that were back ordered forever. Ronin phone holder is probably the big one. October 15th, 2021. But all this cool shit and I just didn't touch it. This is a DJI Ronin RS2. So I have a gimbal, mini LED video light. Bet you I didn't buy this. I bet you this was, sometimes they do little packages on video stuff. But this is a super sexy gimbal. I wanted to do super sexy stuff with my cameras. I got myself a little guitar footstool that I can put down here because I always end up trying to prop a leg up. It's not good, but it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It's not like my buddy John. John will be like, hey, look at this fucking Fender combo, when they were first coming up with electricity. The fuck did I buy these for? Why did I buy multiples? And why are they different? Micro tuners. A bigger tuner. I like clip-on tuners. An SM57. Don't ask. I still have a Mesa Boogie 212 in an ISO box. I still use it. Let's be honest. I say shit like that. Oh, I still use it from time to time. I haven't touched that fucking thing, and there's a 3D printer sitting on my ISO box right now. My son wanted a 3D printer. I thought that would be kind of fun. We'll get a 3D printer. And we got a 3D printer, and he's printed me off some stuff like this here that I was going to use for demos. I kind of spec'd it out, and this is so that I can have a nice little thing for when I do demos. And it's all notched out so I can route the cables through here. I mean, it's my son. He's fantastic with stuff like that. He's just fantastic, period. He's my son. The dude's the shit. That's sitting on top of my ISO box. So when I start to tear into things and say, oh, I still use it. No, I haven't had power to that 212. Actually, the 212 is over there. It's not even in the ISO box. I feel like this is therapeutic. This is like some honesty that we're going through right here. That this is healing. I'm certain that by the time I weed through all the comments with everybody telling me that I'm fat and a moron, it won't be as therapeutic. But for now, this is therapeutic. This light that I'm using up here, those batteries were in it from whenever I shot my last video. And the last video that I shot was at least a year ago, May of 2021. I think this is another mic arm. Yeah, this is the PSA 1 Plus. This here is a telly body from Futon. So I'd bought a telly body. I'd never built my own guitar. So I bought a telly body, and I bought a nice neck from Warmouth. But the body I bought was just an eBay special, and the neck didn't fit right on the body, like at all. There you go, nice little telly body there. God, this thing's heavy as hell. So this was my telly build. I did dye. Did I do linseed oil? I don't remember. These are bare knuckles that I put in here. Look at the neck plate. Look at that. Oh, Ouija board action. How cool is that? The neck cavity was way too shallow. And so I went round and around. Oh, I'm sweating. I don't want to get my merkin wet. Nobody wants a sweaty merkin. Oh, somebody might. Maybe not mine. But yeah, I bought all the parts. I put this together. The neck is gorgeous. But the neck pocket was not right. I had to route it out and try to kind of eyeball a route. And, you know, I bought it, you know, already routed out so that I wouldn't have to do any of that shit. But, you know, here we are. I went to put the bridge on. I lined up the bridge and everything with the string holes and, you know, get your ferrules and everything in there. I get everything all lined up and put on, and the bridge lines up crooked. But when I got all said and done, it just didn't line up right. So I grabbed one from Futon, and we're gonna tear this apart. I don't know if I like this color scheme. I don't know. I might do the whole thing black. That black, I like that. But so that's what that body's for. If you stuck with me this far, thank you for starters. This was more therapeutic for me than anything else. It is really hot in this room. I enjoy this. I miss talking to everybody. And I want to go on some musical adventures. But most importantly, I don't think I want to care anymore about the YouTube algorithm having to do things the way YouTube wants you to do them. Do whatever content I want to do, and if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it makes me happy and I'm having fun, yeah, that's what I want to do. If you had fun during this video, hit like, hit subscribe, forward it to somebody, hit the bell, whatever it is the kids do nowadays. Come like my Facebook page, talk to me there. I want to try to grow a community of like-minded people. Until next time, Gear Zombie.